Welcome back to the show, everybody. Happy New Year. Hope you guys are having a great New Year. This is my first recording in 2024, which is scary to say. The time is flying in life, but we're still here. We're still here to talk about cinema and all things nerdy. This time, physical releases, Blu-rays, 4Ks, boutique labels, all that good shit. And we have two of my favorite people who have been on the show and just in general. Two lovely folks. We got the Antman and we got Charlotte, looking beautiful as always, guys. Thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hell yeah. Charlotte, this was your idea. So like, I don't know, I guess what is physical media? We've hit this before, but like, what does physical media mean to you in the year of our Lord 2024?
As I think everyone who probably watches this channel, like, love physical media. Like, I don't know, there's just something about, like, owning something. Like, I don't know. It is very special to me. I love a good release. I love not having to depend on the internet working that day or streaming quality or paying $10 a month to be able to continue to watch something.
Yeah.
And especially like right now, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Like the state of physical media is sort of in a scary place as we see like places like fucking Best Buy discontinue their sale of Blu-rays, or Walmart and Barnes and Noble push it off to every 2 weeks instead of every Tuesday. But I also think, that opens the door for, boutique labels to really flourish. And I really just hope we see it become more of a niche thing where we're getting better quality releases of the things we love.
Couldn't agree more. And man, what about you?
So when it comes to films in particular, I absolutely adore physical releases specifically because like the film itself is already a piece of art, and that art can continue along with the physical release. Like you get the case with the cover art, and you get the special features, the commentaries. Like it doesn't just have to end when the credits end. Like you can continue the appreciation for that art form, even more so than just, oh, it's on Netflix. There's a screen grab. Let me just play that. I got the movie. That's fine if you like that, but I love to be able to listen to like the people that have created the film talk about their experiences and like their interpretations of things. I love when films like they'll get a secondary artist to create like a really awesome cover art for it. So that's just giving somebody else an outlet to be attached to that. And I think honestly, like in a perfect world, I would, as much as streaming is cool and it's easily accessible, I really wish that like stores like Blockbuster and stuff would come back and give people that experience of, like Charlotte said, physically going someplace, grabbing it, holding it in your hand, and taking it. Because now I don't know if it's like I have ADHD or something. I have so many options at my fingertips that I get overwhelmed sometimes, and I tend to just go on my media cabinet and get something that I've already seen before and rewatch that as opposed to just clicking on something on a streaming service, which is nice. But yeah, I think physical media is scary now in terms of those places. But a lot of the stuff I buy, I typically won't be able to find there anyway. And I think it'll be a boom, just like vinyl. Vinyl started dying out, and then all of a sudden there was this huge explosion that everybody wanted vinyl. And cassette tapes. Cassette tapes are coming back in a huge way now. Um, I don't think physical media will ever go away. I just think the types of physical media might change, and that might be for the better. Boutique labels might be coming uh, the go-to places now, especially with like, Second Sight and Vinegar Syndrome and stuff, the way they do their packaging and everything like that. You just get more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
It's important.
It's very important. Yeah. And I totally agree with what both you guys were saying about the resurgence of it is likely to happen, and also not relying on streaming so heavily is pretty empowering if you're a film lover. And the physical act of just picking it up and watching it is like, it's just kind of this natural kind of primal thing that we all have, at least if you're born pre 2000, I feel like, and grew up
Mhm.
going to video stores. Like I mean, luckily I live in Los Angeles where there's rental stores that kind of have all of these labels and just a huge variety of cult films that you can go rent for a week and just for like $5 a pop. And it's just the greatest feeling in the world to experience a film like that at home. So I still do that like whenever I can. And I agree with the packaging is also just like a fucking beautiful, just kind of cherry on top of it. Like shout out to Bill Griff, who's been on the show and is in the Discord and everything. He knows like every artist that does the Criterion labels and everything by name, and like that's such a cool thing that we can. This goes an extra level of just fandom that we have for these things. So yeah, I just we all are in agreement that it's such an important thing for film love to preserve and just experience the supplements and everything. So on that note, I thought it'd be fun to just talk about things that we bought recently since we're all physical media consumers here. Um, and yeah, just things that we bought in the last year or so that we wanted to talk about, show off, or whatever. So, Charlotte, do you want to start us off?
Sure. So this is Delta Space Mission. It's this 80s fucking Romanian animated film from it was released by Death Crocodile, which is a sub partner of Vinegar Syndrome, who we all know and love. I've recently really become obsessed with them because like their category or library is just very, very like catered to my taste. Really
Mm.
niche animated films that I have never heard of, which is crazy to me because like you get to a point where you've seen so much, I think you feel like you've seen everything, and it's sort of depressing. Um, because you want to discover new cool shit. And thankfully via them I've been doing that. It's a fun, quirky 80s animated film, which is sort of like a mix between like Heavy Metal Magazine, Star Wars, and fucking Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Sold.
It's
Yeah,
a
me
lot
too.
of fun. And they release a lot of stuff that's sort of in that category, weird Eastern European animated films that I don't think ever really got a chance here in the US, and a bunch of weird fantasy films from like the 70s, 80s, 60s that are just very my vibe.
That is very up your alley. That's
Mhm.
awesome. I got to check him out.
The hell yeah.
Mhm.
Shit. Heavy metal mixed with Hanna-Barbera, like that just sounds wild to me, and I'm on board.
Mhm. And they usually have great fucking packaging. Unfortunately, I just sort of got on to them a little bit later and was unfortunately missed out on the nice digipack version of Delta Space Mission, but
Mhm.
definitely planning on correcting that with their other releases.
I know that feeling all too well.
Is it
Damn you,
similar
Vinegar.
to Vinegar? I just want to say, is it similar where they have like limited edition
Yeah.
slipcases and stuff too? Yeah, I love that.
That them doing those slipcases and like those editions selling out, like that's how I know physical media is going to be fine
Mhm.
because of
Exactly.
that. And it, oh man, there's nothing worse than whenever you find a release and you're like, hell yeah, I want to purchase that, and it's standard edition, and you're just in that dilemma, like you get FOMO real bad, like, oh man, I
Yeah.
want that limited edition. Can I find it on eBay for reasonable price?
I had that same dilemma with Body Melt, which is a Vinegar Syndrome release with a gorgeous slipcase, but I just bought it without it because I love the movie.
Same.
But
Mhm.
the packaging could be 10 times better if I could just go on eBay probably and find it, but it's just
Or
a whole
like when
nother level. Yeah.
Or like when you want to wait for like when you know a 50% off sale is coming, but it's like, oh, that stock is getting pretty low.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about that really soon with the next category for sure. But Ant-Man, do you
Mhm.
want to show something off?
Yeah, so there's been a few people in the Discord that has snagged this one, but I am gonna talk about Della Morte Della More from
Nice.
Severin, which it's hard to tell because this thing is like super glossy,
Mhm.
but beautiful release. Honestly, like this film,
Yeah.
I feel kind of lived in cult status, like obscurity for quite some time. And I used to have like a really shitty like bootleg DVD import for like many years. And I know there's a Blu-ray out, but the Blu-ray is pretty garbage, so I didn't want to buy that. So as much as like I'm not too big of a fan on Severin, just because their customer service kind of sucks, um, I can't deny that they do come out with some beautiful releases, and this is definitely one of them. Like the film itself, the transfer just looks immaculate, and it's the best I've ever seen the film in. And then, honestly, there's it being on 4K now. There's details I just never noticed before, and like I knew this the the filming locations were really incredible when I originally watched it, but just rewatching it in 4K, man, um, it blows my mind, what a company can do with an older film, um, given like, I guess the interest. But this one they include like a nice, beautiful booklet and everything like that with a lot of the art from the film itself, and that kind of shit I really really like. I'll there every once in a while, especially for this one, whenever I get ready to pop the film in or afterwards. If they include an art book or something, I just like to flip through that and just like continue living in the world of the film. Just not ready to leave yet. And definitely, this is one. Like, if you're a physical media fan, if you're an Italian horror fan, this is definitely one you gotta have.
Charlotte just showed it off too. Do you want to speak
Yeah,
on it?
so I discovered this film because I was at Orbit DVD in Asheville, North Carolina. Shout out to Orbit. It's a great store with an internet shop if you ever are interested in finding niche film titles and stuff, and they have great customer service. So shout out to them. And I was talking with one of their employees, and they informed me that, like, because they know that I really love like sort of gothic romance, folk horror type shit, that I would really love this particular title, and told me about the upcoming release. And so I can always trust this individual's taste pretty well. And then Ant-Man also confirmed it, and me and Ant-Man sort of have like similar taste as well, and so I instantly pre-ordered it.
Hopefully, it was
Nice.
worth it.
It was a lot of fun. I love it. I think if you're like a Buffy fan, which I absolutely am, then you'll like it's definitely like your cup of tea.
I
Nice.
definitely agree.
I always was just taken aback by the packaging. I was like, should I just buy that for the cover alone? And I love Severin, despite what Ant-Man was saying about the customer service. I am a huge fan of them as well. Like they put up beautiful stuff. So I will probably watch that movie and possibly buy it in the near future. It looks like a good time. Yeah. Anyhow, my one I'm gonna show off, and probably not gonna be as interesting or as um I guess obscure as your guys' picks, because I took a halt on movie buying in the past year just for financial reasons. But I did buy something during the VS sale, Vinegar Syndrome. Um, never abbreviated it before. I don't know why I did, but um, I bought this beautiful copy of Shiva Baby, which is a film I love. Got the bagel with the locks on the back, very Jewish picture here that I adore. I love Rachel Sennett. I love Emma Segelman, who directed this, who did Bottoms last year. Um, and I wanted to show this one off because I feel like this is I mean, it's obviously a partner label. Utopia released this. It's not an official Vinegar Syndrome title, but just the fact that they're doing independent movies and more importantly, independent comedies in their label, I think is really great. That's one of the subgenres in film I just adore and inspires me personally a lot. So just to have this in a really, really like high quality release, and the picture quality is so great. I just think it's so great, man. And I hope they do more. Like, I hope Bottoms gets a really cool release. I hope just all these more independent like A24 or Neon released movies coming out that are really low budget, get some cool boutique releases, because then more people rediscover them also over time. And just on a personal level, I just have this in my collection is just really, really great. So I highly recommend y'all buy it. And the slipcase is pretty gorgeous too. So that's
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
an incentive. So yeah, Shiva baby.
Never seen it, but it's definitely on my list.
Oh yeah, that movie gave me a panic
Man,
attack.
Same here, same
that
here.
would just move higher on my list.
Exactly.
It is like a crossbreed of like Cassavetes and just high octane, anxiety inducing cinema. It's just the best.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, shout out Rachel Sennett for my queen. I love you. Yeah, Charlotte, go ahead.
Yeah, so this next one comes from a director we all know and love and a company that we all know and love. So I almost never buy Criterion outside of like their 50% off sales, but I had to make an exception for this one, and they gave me a $10 gift card. So
Oh,
Hell yeah.
yeah. And it is absolutely beautiful. It's one of those things that like just like really tickled me when I saw that it was going to be released, because it was one of my favorite films of 2022, and because it was a Netflix release, it was sort of iffy if it would ever get like a physical release, but I think Guillermo del Toro probably really pushed for it and stuff, and I think that's something that's really important that we're seeing right now as directors like putting in their contracts that you have to allow such and such company to release. Like Wes Anderson, I think, has it in his contract that all of his films have to be able to be released on Criterion, which is cool.
That's
that's
dope.
definitely something to strive for as a director. It's pretty
Mhm.
great.
That's a release I definitely need to pick up. I fucking
Mhm.
adored Pinocchio. I'm a huge sucker for stop motion animation. I'm
It's
glad it's an art form that's still continuing.
it's
Mhm.
just like a really beautiful release
Yeah,
and
that release
stuff.
is
Like,
incredible. Oh my
Oh
god,
my God.
look at it, like
that's unreal. Yeah.
comes with a little booklet. It's one of my favorite things that I own currently, because like that cover art is just fucking stunning.
That'd be an amazing poster to hang up.
Absolutely. It goes back to what we were saying about, movies that live on streaming, but then people like us can kind of have that physical release, and
Mhm.
just because that movie definitely deserves to be seen over and over and over again, not on Netflix. So that's, yeah, and it makes it so much better that the packaging is so immaculate. Um, I love Guillermo and I love his movies so much. So I'm glad that he has at least half of his catalog on there now, probably.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they re-release the Del Toro box set in 4K on Criterion, because I screwed up and I did not buy the Blu-ray, and now it's out of print and I really
It
regret it.
is. I had the same feeling. I was like maybe gonna buy them individually, but I'm like, no, man, I need the packaging.
You know what sucks is I did buy them individually, and then same thing. I was like, I need the packaging, so I sold them because I was like, oh, I'll just buy
Oh
it like
no.
all together, and then it went out of print. And I was like, well, I'm double fucked right here. This sucks.
See, I hate it
It's too
because I
bad.
didn't buy it because I really wanted the cover art for Pan's Labyrinth, and
Oh yeah,
unfortunately in the Blu-ray box set you don't get like the
that's true.
little, yeah, but
Yeah,
I do regret not buying it as well, because fucking stunning, and it had that cool book.
Yeah.
Criterion, come on, 4K, let's
Listen
go.
closely. Come on. Do you guys foresee Shape of Water or Nightmare Alley being released on Criterion in the near future? Because I personally would love that.
Same.
Yeah,
Um,
I could
I
see
I
both.
hope they do.
I could see Shape of Water um definitely being on Criterion. Nightmare Alley too. Both of them I can definitely see, but like
Mhm.
I fucking adore Shape of Water so much. Like
Same.
that was probably my favorite film of that year. It's just it feels timeless while being still dated in a sense.
Yeah.
Just this
Mhm.
the cinematography is just. I know that film gets shitted on a lot from like true cinephiles, I don't care. I adore it. It's one of my favorites.
Hmm. I never understood why anyone would outright shit on it, even if you are a cinephile, because like he's evoking like Universal monster movies and Douglas Sirk movies, like all that heaven allows. Like it looks undeniably just gorgeous, like the
Yep.
Technicolor inspiration, and Sally
Music is
Hawkins, the music, oh, that
Yeah.
and Doug Jones's performance. It's like, yeah, I'm right there with you. That was like up there in 2017.
Yep.
It's one of the best movies that year. So
I
Got
love
yeah,
it
got Del
even
Toro his Oscar.
yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah.
I love it even if it is furry propaganda.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, in the most subtle way possible, I guess. Yeah. Awesome. I can't wait to buy that Pinocchio set. I wanted to wait till July, but I don't know if I can. I'll probably just wait for a flash sale or something
Yeah,
at this
February's
point.
coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh
Definitely, yeah. Fuck. I didn't know the inside looked like that, to be honest. Like,
man.
that's
Neither, yeah.
immediately just that little thing.
And
I
it's
gotta
like
buy
the
that.
little touches like that that really just like get me and keep me in like the physical media addiction.
Same.
Totally. Is it a 4K release or was it just regular
Yes, this
Blu-ray?
is the 4K release. The regular Blu-ray, unfortunately, is just standard
Mm-hmm.
I'll pay the
non-digipack.
extra.
Yeah, I will too.
Yeah, same. Like I never buy 4Ks, but I had to get that good packaging.
I
Hmm.
don't think I've ever experienced a stop motion animation movie in 4K quality, so that's definitely the one to start with, I feel like. Yeah.
Definitely.
Anyway. Yeah, man.
Um, man, so I didn't honestly think I was going to be able to get this one just because when it came out, it was like $80. Um, and I know I just spent like $60 on Cemetery Man, but I was like $80, damn. However, deep discount came in clutch and they had a sale, and that is going to be Neon's releasing of the 4K of Old Boy, which I swear to you, the internet pictures do not do this release justice. It is absolutely gorgeous in person. The box is nice and textured. Um, it's it's like an off-white kind of like I don't know background color, which is really nice. Online, it kind of looks like pure white, and then it comes in like this really awesome hard book with it. So it's got like the discs in there, and then it has like you know stills and essays and stuff about Old Boy, which to me, Old Boy is Park Chan Wook's masterpiece, like magnum opus to me. Like I fucking love Old Boy so much. And Neon did an absolutely amazing job with this 4K transfer. Like it just looks pristine, and outside of some of like the shoddy CGI in some sections, like the ants essentially, um, you honestly probably couldn't even tell that this is a film that's like what almost 20 years old now.
Yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
like it just came out like last year. Like they did a phenomenal job, and then in also the packaging. So yeah, deep discount came in clutch. It was $40. I'm like, all right, you know
Wow.
what? Let's snag that bad boy.
I mean, just Old Boy's one of the greatest movies of the century, if you ask me. So like any physical release is worthwhile. And coupled with the fact that it was released, Neon released it in theaters last year was just such a gift, man. One of my favorite movie going experiences last year by far. Just yeah, I can. Do you think again? I know you just bought it, but do you think there's going to be any more boutique labels putting that out? Like
If there
not
are,
even.
I'll double dip.
I was gonna say I would buy any release of that movie that comes out. So
I
Yeah,
have the
honestly, like
Arrow version, and it's pretty
yeah,
great.
I
you're
don't mind double
region
dipping.
free, right? Is it region B?
I think I have Region B, but I have a Region Free player.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, there are times that it's a region locked release, but I just love the film so much and I love the packaging. I'll double dip, and so I have a couple Arrow releases that are strictly Region B. Back before they made like Arrow films for the US, and it was just a UK release. I snagged those just because I had to have them. I have no way of watching them, but I don't really care. So if like they do another boutique label does do an old boy release, I'll snag that. Just like Gregor Aki, like any Gregor Aki film that's coming out, Like
Yeah.
I'll buy it. I already have most of his films on like DVDs and like if some Blu-rays that are kind of not real Blu-rays. Um, but any release of his, like I don't give a shit if I have multiple copies. I'm still going to continue to buy it, especially if a boutique label picks it up, which they really need to because his work deserves a proper, legitimate release of. Honestly, I can't. I'll take any
Mhm.
boutique label Iraqi film. Honestly, I don't even Kaboom. I don't care. Like I'll buy that. I just want to have his work not be so inaccessible.
Yeah.
And it's awesome that like Nowhere got a restoration. I saw Doom Generation in theater restoration last year, and it was fucking amazing.
So jealous.
Oh, so good. I just want, I want him to have the boutique love that he deserves.
Mhm.
Or Criterion, let's go. Come on, box it.
Please, please. I mean, his movies are so visually dazzling and striking. Like, I can't believe that they're not on a physical media at all. Like, and a whole new generation. Like, I feel like our generation just adores those movies. I mean,
Yep.
Mhm.
most of us do. So there's such a great crowd that would eat those movies up. So, like, what are you guys waiting for? Like, seriously, I can't.
No shit.
It's,
Like
it's like
from a
crazy.
studio standpoint, like I mean, I know Neon just did the restoration. They put out a Blu-ray for Doom, so that's awesome. But like, I mean, there's like the whoever I don't know who owns like holds the rights for the majority of his films, or if they're like scattered out. But like, if you're
Grand
not gonna
releasing.
do any releasings with them, just give like sell them to somebody else who will actually take the time to do a proper release. I know there's plenty of boutique labels that would definitely jump at the chance to be able to do that.
Well, Strand Art Releasing holds the rights for several of his titles, and they've released not like the best, but like a pretty nice version of Doom Generation last year. Like the packaging wasn't great,
Mhm.
but the quality of the Blu-ray is really nice, and it had some cool features.
Just needs to continue.
Well,
Mysterious
hopefully,
Skin, come on.
I was
They
gonna say
also
that.
did Mysterious Skin, and I love that fucking Blu-ray.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to snag that then.
Mhm.
So like, I just have the DVD. I'm like,
Me
it's
too.
fine. I'll pop the DVD in. It's that's a masterpiece of a film.
Mhm.
Um, that it's to me that's like another There Will Be Blood. Like how the fuck is this not on
Hmm.
something
Hmm.
bigger
Mhm.
than what it is? So I'll snag that Blu-ray.
Yeah, a generation defining movie, in my opinion, in Mysterious Skin. I own
Sorry.
that. I own that DVD, Doom Generation, and I think Smiley Face, just because I love those movies so much, just to rewatch them over and over and over again. But I'm like,
Shout out to Carlos, who always forgets that smiley face is Gregoraki.
yeah, I don't want. Yeah, I would hate to know his actual opinion on Gregoraki, but
Yeah, it's not favorable.
He liked Mysterious Skin.
That's it. Oh, and smiley face, but he always forgets that it's a
He just thinks of nowhere.
yeah. I don't get the Nowhere hate. I love Nowhere, but
it's the most Iraqi movie that ever Iraqi'd. So maybe that's kind of the hang up people have.
So this is the
Um,
inside of the Mysterious Skin
ooh,
Blu-ray.
that's gorgeous. Yeah, I'm sure the quality is at least pretty top notch for what it is
Yeah.
of the
I love
transfer.
the Cheerio on the
mm,
Blu-ray cover. It's
Mhm.
really nice.
hell yeah.
So yeah, the thesis of this podcast, no matter where we go with it, is a Rocky. Just get on him, someone,
Yep.
Yeah.
please. Like that's all I care about. um, all right, the next one I'm going to show off. The next two are they're pretty standard releases, but I like to collect directors' filmographies as much as I'm sure you guys do. And I've been working on my John Waters collection. And this was actually a gift from a fellow uh Frisky in the Discord for the Secret Santa. I got Female Trouble, which is I think a masterpiece of filmmaking. Um, and yeah, I mean, just the era with Divine, I really want to own on Criterion Blu-ray because those movies are just so rewatchable to me. Oddly, um, Pink Flamingos, Multiple Maniacs, Polyester. I own all of those, so now I have the full Divine collection in my Criterion shelf, which I just think is long time dream coming. But yeah, I just John Waters is another director. I'm just so happy that they have restored his films on Criterion for the most part. I'm still waiting on maybe more later career Waters movies on Criterion. You know, Cecil B. Demented, um, Hairspray, obviously, Serial Mom, which already has a pretty good release, but you know, Criterion never hurts anybody. And he's just one of my favorite directors. So to have that just kind of an overarching statement of, you know, release more Waters movies on the physical media.
Fuck yeah.
He's similar to a Rocky, where some of them are just kind of inaccessible at this point on physical media. So yeah, I mean, do you guys own any John Waters? I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Not
have
even a
everything.
question.
Yeah, I have everything he's put out on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, Criterion, and uh I adore John Waters. He's honestly, without John Waters, I don't think I'd be the kind of person I am today. I don't know what that says about me, but I really, really hope that Criterion doesn't stop. And I know it would never happen, but like I have a bootleg copy of Mondo Trasho, and it's not a great film at all, but it would be really cool to see like an official releasing of that. And if they could couple in some of his like earlier works, like was it the Diane Linklater story or the Hag in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
black leather jacket? Like
Mhm.
it bothers me that those are two that I'm probably never gonna see, and I'm a completionist, so like I want to see everything.
Me too.
But I hope Criterion doesn't stop. I would love to see Pecker in the Criterion closet or the collection. It'd be
And the
amazing.
closet, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah,
The Johnny Knoxville one, The Dirty Shame. I would love to see that on Criterion also.
yeah.
All of them.
Cry
I think I
baby.
can see them do a Mondo Trash show with those the short movies and like sort of a trilogy set or something.
Yeah, John
Yeah,
Waters' early works.
the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
issue with that is like the licensing rights to the music for his earlier shorts. It's too expensive. So that's the only reason why they haven't been put out. I'm like, dude, just put them on YouTube or something. Like, I just want to see
Mhm.
them, please.
That was the reason for Doom Generation for a while was the music copyrights were too expensive, but thankfully something will
Well,
happen.
yeah, you never know. I mean, John Waters is apparently working on another film, and hopefully it actually sees the light of day because he was
Mhm.
making this film, a children's Christmas tale called Fruitcake, for quite some time, and it just died in its tracks. So like, hopefully, maybe this one he'll get on the ground, and maybe that'll get some inspiration in his earlier works, and something will happen. I don't know. I'm crossing my fingers. Anything to do with John Waters, I'm all for.
He's just like the most wholesome pervert there ever
Yeah.
was.
He makes me feel like
True.
it's like it's okay to be me.
Mhm.
It is. He's a life affirming figure in cinema, despite how deranged his movies are.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I hope he's having like when David Lynch had The Return come out, there was kind of a resurgence of people rediscovering his work. Um, and hopefully if John Waters releases a movie, probably not to the extent of that fandom, but maybe more people, you know, there's a higher demand. They'll show some of his movies in theaters. Like I would love that so much.
Yeah, dude, it scares me because he is definitely old now, and
Right.
he's getting at that time. I know, like when it's time for him to pass, like that's just gonna just absolutely destroy me. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times, and he's probably one of the nicest people I've ever met. Super, super awesome, and like talkative and super funny. Um, Even though he looks skinny, he's even skinnier in person. He looks really frail in person, but like, man, he's just an absolute sweetheart, and
I don't doubt it.
I hope all good things happen to him.
Do you guys have a favorite Waters movie? That could be a whole episode into itself. Yeah, but
Yeah, I'd say Female Trouble is probably my favorite. That's the one I've
Mhm.
seen the most.
so damn good.
Goddamn Cha-Cha Heels, dude.
Cha-cha heels. Uh, my brain, she is dead. Give me 1 second. I have
I'll
to.
just say mine is probably Pink Flamingos, which I know is probably the most standard answer, but that movie, kind of what you were saying, changed my perspective on what kind of moved the power of cinema in a weird way, and just had like the best time seeing that. I saw it like on projected on film for the first time with a group, and it was like riding a roller coaster into like a toilet. It was the funnest fucking experience ever. So, and I think it's just a perfect movie. And Divine should have won an Oscar, as she
Dude,
should have for all of
R.I.P.
his movies. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah.
My favorite is probably Multiple Maniacs. I know that's not a
Mm,
popular answer, but I fucking love that movie.
I do too.
Lobster.
Lobster.
Yeah,
Like the
multiple maniacs get shit on a lot too. I could
really.
definitely see why. Well, it's because it's that's John Waters like right before he was on the cusp of like truly finding his like film voice and learning proper like editing and whatnot and everything. So that was still very much like I don't want to say like a film student type, but like a film school student type film, but it was pretty much that. It was like his last feature before he's like, all right, now I've learned everything that I need to know before he goes on to
Mhm,
make Pink Flamingos. But yeah, I think Multiple Maniacs is great. I love it.
I do
I'm glad
too.
it got Criterion release.
Mhm.
Very surprising that it got a Criterion release.
I know
Remember when
that's
it was announced, I
nuts.
was like, what the fuck? Pre-order.
It was the
Pre-order.
first one to get one too, wasn't it?
Is
Yeah, I
it?
think so.
That's awesome. And yeah, I mean the practicals and all the models he built for that movie still hold up. Like
Hmm.
it just yeah. That was the first Waters I ever watched. I'm like give me everything this man has to offer. Like he's the guy.
The dude did a rosary job inside of a church. Like, that's fucking wild. That immediately when I first saw that, I was like, yep, this is daddy right here. Cinema
He
daddy.
he surely is. All right, Charlotte, do you have one more?
Yes. So this isn't like the best release, but I'm just excited that it got a physical copy. It's
Oh.
G Kids and Shout Factory's release of Spirited Away Live, which is technically a play, but I fucking loved it. I love plays, I love puppets, I love practical effects, and it has everything I want. And it's an adaptation of one of my favorite movies, so
Nice. I regretfully didn't see that on the big screen. I really wanted to, but
oh.
I mean, I'm sure it's still divine to watch on your TV.
Mhm.
I hope. Yeah, I love G Kids releases.
I didn't know that the stage adaptation got a release, so I'm definitely buying that because like I'm not super well versed in like plays and like stage adaptations of things, but the ones that I have seen have been absolutely a blast, and I could definitely see Spirited Away being outstanding with all the different costumes and puppets and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, that just sounds so much fun.
Mhm.
It's filmed really well. And it's just a treat to look at, and it's just a treat that that's what I love about physical media is like when something special like that comes out and it feels like just like such a little treat to own, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have your friends come over and you're like, look at my cabinet. Look at
Literally.
all the gloriousness that's in here.
That's what it's really for, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
we're all just show offs.
Mhm.
Awesome. I really can't wait to watch that. It's also one of my favorite movies. So Miyazaki is daddy and his work lives on. Ant-Man.
Um, very standard, very standard. However, the release for this is far from standard. This was I double dipped on this film like actually I've more than doubled. I've bought this film probably like 20, 30 times over. Variants of things, whether it's like Betamax, VHS, DVD, all that stuff, all combined, laser. Um, but Second Sight, who has now become one of the top three favorite companies for physical media. Just everything that I've owned from them has been immaculate. Even the Dawn of the Dead, not the limited edition one that they have, but the other one, even that is outstanding. I'm going with the Second Sight releasing of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Absolutely fucking gorgeous. Like everything. No, okay, the transfer on this is just impeccable. It's absolutely beautiful. And I know that man, and I have it back there. I can't remember who did there was another company that put out a 4K steelbook of this before Second Sight did. And from what I heard, Second Sight kind of went back in and they did a little bit of extra work. That could be true, that could not be true. I don't know. But I mean, first you get this like really hardback, like beautiful book, thick book, detailing like everything about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the film itself, kind of shooting the film, um, the cultural significance of what it's where it stands today, why it's popular. It's basically like a Criterion essay on steroids, which is outstanding. And then I haven't opened it, but you get all these like lobby cards, which is really I love lobby cards. I really wish that would start to come back. And then the actual discs itself, like and then the artwork on the back is just beautiful. You see Sally just kind of running through the field.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Second Sight, like man, I don't want to say hands down like they're the best physical media releases right now because Vinegar Syndrome is definitely up there for me. Neon When They Want to is another really good one, but Second Sight, maybe some of the films that we're going to be talking about a little later will have an appearance from Second Sight. But yeah, I adore what they do, and that's another one where some of them are region locked, but I don't care. I'm buying them because the packaging is too immaculate not to own. I just I love having stuff like this in my collection when I walk by it to come out here to work for the day. I see my collection. It just makes me really happy just to see that stuff. I'm like, just to know I own it, and I know at any time I can pull this off the shelf and revisit it. And when a company goes as far as like this to release it in the way they have with all this features and stuff, like I just feel like a kid again revisiting something for the first time when I pop it in the Blu-ray player, and I'm just like, damn, dude. Especially something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's never looked this good. So it's almost like watching it for the first time all over again. This is so fun.
Mhm. You have me sold. That's my favorite horror movie of all time. And similar to what we were saying about just buying any release that comes out, like I have three different releases of it currently. I have like the 4K release that came out recently, and then the Steelbook, and just the 30th anniversary Blu-ray. And now I want that. I was pretty much salivating at the back cover that you were showing there. So
Dude,
yeah,
10 out of 10
gorgeous
would
stuff.
recommend. Like
Mhm.
seriously, I don't know if it's like out of print or not, but that's one where if you were ever gonna fork over a little extra change for something that's out of print on eBay, do it. Like there's nothing bad that I can say about that release. Everything about it is immaculate, and as a physical media enthusiast, like you will eat it up.
Gorgeous, gorgeous release for sure. Um, awesome. Okay, I will end this little segment with a recent birthday gift I got, which standard release, but it was a special little moment for me because it completed another director's filmography in my physical media collection, which is Miyazaki. The second Miyazaki talk on this. So I got the Porco Rosso Blu-ray from one of my really, really good friends back home. She got it for me because on my 21st birthday, we actually saw this movie on the big screen, most of us for the first time, and we were really, really wasted. So we don't remember it super well. Obviously, I'd revisited it many, many times, but she sort of got it for me like as kind of a gag, like, hey, now you can finally watch it 6 years later properly. And I just fucking love the G Kids releases. Just how they kind of stack up, and I put them in chronological order. So it kind of just highlights his entire as well as the other Studio Ghibli directors. But I finally got Miyazaki's completed, and I'm just so happy about that. And I love this movie. I could, like most of his movies, I could throw it on anytime I'm struggling to fall asleep or having a bad day. And obviously all the transfers are impeccable. So yeah,
It's my
Porco Rosso.
partner's favorite Ghibli film.
Oh, really?
We went to go see it this last summer on the big screen, and oh, incredible. Highly recommend seeing Miyazaki on the big screen whenever you have the chance.
Absolutely. Did you guys see it for the AMC Ghibli Fest, or was it something else?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
Ghibli Fest, we snuck in because I didn't feel like paying $20 for a ticket. But
Hell yeah. I love the fact that you mentioned Porco Rosso because that's a film that just always it's overlooked, and I
Agree.
love it dearly.
Me too. Me too. Pigs gotta fly, man.
Yeah.
Pigs gotta fly.
It's probably the most adult of his movies in a lot of ways. So I think a lot of, younger people on the younger side don't connect to it as much, but it's kind of like it's sort of mirrored take on fascism and everything like that is really genius to me and really hilarious stuff. Um, so yeah, um, obviously I can't do a podcast without mentioning Miyazaki. That's been proven so far, so I had to bring that up. All right, cool. You guys want to just jump into the? You ready to jump into the upcoming releases? I'm good to go if you guys are.
I'm good to
Sure.
go.
Let's do it. I guess back around to Charlotte. So yeah, basically we're gonna be talking about movies that are being released in 2024. And ones that we're looking forward to buy and hopefully recommend to y'all out there. So yeah, go ahead, Charlotte.
Yeah, so my pick for is The Wolf House. It's coming from Kim Stem, releasing, who also released a DVD when it first came out. And the DVD was really nice, so I'm hoping that they'll continue that with the Blu-ray. I was shocked that this film didn't have like a Blu-ray release when it initially came out because it just seemed like something that was really dying for that. This great Chilean stop motion animation film that I think everyone I've spoken to who has seen it is just totally in love with. Really dark, creepy stuff. It's a great time. Really trippy, really bizarre. Highly recommend, and I'm hype as fuck that it's finally getting a proper release.
Nice. You guys have been talking about it so much in the chat like over the years, and I've been so interested in seeing it. It looked just like a very striking and gorgeously constructed stop motion movie. So that's yeah,
And it's
it's cool. It's getting a
partners
release.
like this is part just an example of why like I won't not buy a DVD if it's the only thing available because I feel like sometimes that shows the company that there is a demand for
Totally.
a film and hopefully will increase its potential for being released on Blu-ray or in better format in the future.
Absolutely. That was my thinking with Gregor Rocky, even though I was buying them from like used video shops and stuff. I
Mhm.
was like, maybe someone will hear the outcry of me buying this mysterious skin copy from the record store. But yeah, I totally agree with that. Hey man, have you seen Wolf House?
I have. Um, I definitely think that's something that if you're a stop motion and animation enthusiast, definitely like I can't fathom the amount of work that it took to make that film. Like watching it every frame is like fuck. I don't I I can't comprehend it honestly. I really can't. I
And
don't know
every
how long. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, I can't comprehend like how much time and effort it took to make that film. I don't know like how long it took to make, but that doesn't matter because it just blew me. That was one of my favorite films that was recommended in the Discord to watch because it's something I never heard about. And so as soon as I put it on, I'm like, oh shit, I'm in for a treat. Oh, this is
Mm.
glorious. So if you're into stop motion animation, um, kind of artistic experimental type films, horror, like or all of the above, that's pretty much a must own right there.
All of it shot to scale, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I mean, or it
Wow.
was all created to scale. Like, the puppets are human sized, which is
God,
That's
insane.
unreal.
I would love to do it. Hopefully the release has like some interviews or something. Like I would love to know more about the making of that film. This
Yeah.
it's jaw-dropping cinema right there.
Damn. Well, I will get on it ASAP because I've been missing out apparently.
Dude, guaranteed. Like you put it on within the first 10 minutes, your mouth will be agape, and just the
Mhm.
just logistically on how that film was made. Like I- honestly, if you just know just a little bit about how, like what goes into making stop motion animation, and then you just take that little bit of knowledge and you just apply it to what you're seeing for the Wolf House, you're just gonna be like, what the fuck? I can't. It's insane.
Exactly how I felt when watching Mad God in theaters. It was kind
Oh,
of that
Oh,
same sort of sensation of someone created this and crafted it by hand for like 3 decades, maybe more, and it was just taken aback. And God, yeah, it's an art form I can't even fathom.
yeah. It's honestly along those lines. Like, I know those that Phil Tippett. It took him like at least 30 years to make that film.
Mhm.
Did he do all that on his own?
I know that. I mean, I'm sure he commissioned other people to help him, but I know he ran out. People quit the projects like 5 or 6 times. Because then he had to keep recommissioning new artists. That's why it took 3 decades because people were getting fed up with it.
Persistence is
Yeah,
key. I'm glad he kept going
yeah,
and released it because it was that one was great as well.
absolutely. Yeah. All right, man. You want to go?
Yeah. So I was gonna do them on in terms of like release month, but I'm kind of gonna be all over the place. So the first one I'm gonna mention is a documentary called Orozco the Embalmer. I have the DVD for Massacre Video, but they're coming out Blu-ray later this year, in March. I adore that film, and that's kind of fucked to say because it's literally a documentary about somebody in South America who is a embalmer, and you're just watching him embalm actual people. Um, but it's just cool to see like his take on life and how he kind of views everything and how he views his job per se. Unfortunately, like he does die like not too long after they filmed that, which sucks, but it's just you're so used to like American customs when it comes to like funerals and stuff like that. It's really cool to get an insight on like Latin America, um, on how they kind of view death and that whole process. And I've always been kind of weird watching and stuff like that. Like HBO had like an autopsy documentary on like many years when I was a kid, and I would always like stay up late to watch it, and it would always creep me out. But it definitely, I mean, I'm glad that it's getting a Blu-ray upgrade because it sure does deserve it. It looks like it'll have a slip on there too, which I'm a sucker for a slip case. And yeah, it'll be. I don't own too many Massacre videos, but the ones that I do have been pretty much bangers. So I'm glad that they're taking the reins on this one and giving it a proper upgrade.
nice. I've never heard of that film or that label before, but it sounds right up my alley. So
I think you would really like it.
hype. Yeah. I love what a kindred spirit you are, Ant-Man. Like, I feel like, anything you're gonna wreck, I'm always gonna be like super duper into.
That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. But I seriously do think that, first of all, thank you for those kind words. Second of all, I think Orozco the Embalmers definitely would be up your alley. I highly recommend you checking it out. Um, I'll try to find you an area where it's playing so I can get you to watch it and you can tell me your thoughts and opinions on it.
Yeah.
Is it a newer release documentary?
No, it's kind of old. I bought the DVD back in like 2015, 2014, I think. And I know
Mhm.
it had been out before that. I don't know when the film came out, but I know it's like maybe late 90s, early 2000s, and I could be wrong on that. I probably am wrong. Um, but it's cool to see that I don't know if it was necessarily like an obscure documentary, but I am starting to see buzz around this release again. So it's cool to see like newer people that have never seen that. Um, it's graphic, but it's important. It's something that that's going to happen to us when we go. I would like to know what that process is like. So, and especially you get to see somebody who is I wouldn't say the man is sweet, but he seems like a genuinely a decent human being. Like you get to watch him do his job, and It's fun.
Very kind person. It sounds
Someone
like.
who cares about what they do.
That, yes,
I
very
love that
much so.
stuff.
He's got a lot of care that goes into his job.
One of my favorite things in documentaries is just chronicling someone who's just very good at their job in a really particular like subset of workforce. Agnes Varda does that stuff too, like really beautifully. So I really love to watch that too. Um, all right. My first pick for this, apologies for the tonal shift because my movie's a lot sillier than Ant-Man's pick. But it is Bad Biology, the Severin release that is coming out on January 31st. Um, by Frank Henenlotter, who is we were calling John Waters' daddy. Frank Henenlotter is also daddy to me. My other stepdad, I guess you'd say. Um, I love this movie so much. I saw it for the first time, actually during October, spooky season month. And it's, essentially about a man and a woman who have enhanced sex organs and they constantly are breeding and need fulfillment and orgasms constantly. So if you're into horny horror and sort of medical horror, which I really, really love, this movie is for you. And yeah, Frank Henenlotter, just another person that I will buy anything that he puts out. I have all the basket case films and I adore that man. I think I talked about him with you guys already. It's coming to mind, but yeah, to have this coming out like right after I'd seen it for the first time, it's just a magical thing. And I highly recommend to all you guys to see this movie. If you're into Henenlotter and body horror and all that good stuff. And Severin never disappoints. So with the releases, I should say. So
There you go. I
no
will say, like,
caveat.
I feel shitty. Like, I do like the several releases. The customer service definitely could have some work to be done, but their releases are really good.
For sure. I mean, I've had things release that I bought and they didn't come for like 2 months and literally no sort of gratification from the company or any sort of word. I just had to like track it myself and they would never like respond to my calls or emails and stuff. So,
Or if they get
but
an influx of emails about it, they'll post a shady post on Instagram.
that's right. So yeah, that comes out January 31st, so pretty soon. I can't wait to get on that. Um, yeah. Okay, Charlotte, you're next.
So mine doesn't have an official street day, but using powers of deduction. Nowhere should be coming out at some point this year from Strand Releasing, who handled Doom Generation, and they've been the ones who have been sort of remastering Araki's works and whatnot. Spoke about them earlier. I'm just hyped because it's been out of print in the US. I don't think it's ever had a DVD release here officially. Like I'm lucky to own it on VHS. And that was like the only way I was able to like watch it for a very, very long time and stuff. And while it's not my favorite movie, I am always going to be supporting more Iraqi coming out into the world and being back in circulation. And so I'm just really grateful and excited that there is a company finally giving him his flowers and, you know, producing really, really nice quality 4K, not 4K discs, but 4K scans of his work. Their version of Doom Generation looked fucking beautiful, and they're also director's cut, so there's the way he originally intended us to see. So it's really neat to be able to finally view them in that way.
I'm so excited. I mean, just aforementioned, we were just talking about him nonstop, so they know we love him, and if I can't just wait. I mainly can't wait to see what the cover is going to be because that movie could have so many
Araki is
possibilities.
my daddy.
So he's daddy number two for me. I had two daddies. No mommies, only daddies.
Both gay dads.
Yeah, I'd be proud to have them be my actual dads. That'd be amazing.
Absolutely.
I
And
love when releases come out with like director's cuts because I feel like that's just how the film should just have been released.
I was just about to say, like I know I know that there's a better cut than the one I've seen, and I love the movie, but I know it was re-edited to shit because it's a little incoherent at times, at least
Mhm.
the rip I saw. So to see that properly is going to be a treat for sure. Yeah. All right. Ant-Man, you're next there.
Um, so I am going to talk about everybody's favorite, Lars von Trier. Uh, Mubi is releasing the Kingdom trilogy early February, and I've only seen the first couple episodes of the Kingdom season one, and that was something that the Discord, Charlotte included, we're doing weekly episodes, and unfortunately, I kind of fell off there because I had a kid. Um, but the episodes that I did watch, I really fucking adored, and despite unpopular or popular opinion, I love the work of Lars von Trier. Um,
Nice.
so to have all three seasons of The Kingdom in one spot, easily accessible, is going to be really nice. And I mean, to have I don't know what the packaging is like, but Mubi does usually a decent job on the releases. Like the Decision to Leave release is pretty dope. Um, so I'm excited to snag that. It'll be a early birthday gift to myself, and I'm just gonna sit and binge it and catch up.
I'm so hyped for it. It's just really good television. I don't know another way to put it. If you're a fan of Twin Peaks, please check out The Kingdom because it's definitely like that vibe of like, an auteur director taking on like a TV series, but also sort of like parodying soap operas of the time that it came out, and
Mm.
it has a really special place in my heart, at least. So
Yeah, it's really fucking weird. So
yeah.
you hit the nail on the head when you very Twin Peaks-esque because
Mhm.
I couldn't. That's the perfect way of summing it up. Lars von Trier does Twin Peaks.
Oh boy. I
But
love
it's
to
a parody of General Hospital rather than
yeah.
Days of Our Lives.
I was
Yeah,
about to say it's like ER crossbreeded between Twin Peaks and the line of Von Trier. That sounds incredible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. I've seen, like I said, the first like four episodes, and that's it. But man, that's enough for me to drop some money to buy it all because fuck, it's just one of those things you could tell is special. And then Charlotte actually you continued watching it all. So your endorsement sold is definitely a seal the
Mhm.
deal.
Well, we
Me
only
too.
watched the first season, but
Oh,
yeah, so
What's
oh,
he
maybe we'll
came
have to
back.
resume TV Tuesdays.
I would love that.
I would definitely join in. Didn't he come back recently and just did more of it, right? Like it was
Yeah,
kind of
he
a
did a
re
third season, I think the year before last,
he
maybe
had
two
his
years
return
ago.
moment. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Another bite off David Lynch.
I like to think of Ant-Man having his newborn child and trying to decide if he wants to take care of the child or watch a Von Trier series on
When he was younger and easier to handle, man, I've definitely watched some questionable things. While
it's
I'm just like,
cradling your
damn,
child to Dancer in the Dark or something.
yeah, I'm just like, dude, I got to figure out the line and where to draw that at some point. But now he's sleeping on his own at night, so I'm going back into to watching. Like, I'm trying to do a movie a night,
Mhm.
but it's still kind of hard.
But when are we gonna get the Ant-Man family photo a la Eraserhead? That's what I want to know.
I would love to do that. Oh man, that's a good ass idea. I'll make it happen. I
You can get
promise.
like spike your hair up to like a little
I don't have hair. I'm
never
bald.
mind.
I
We'll
gotta get
get
a
you a
wig.
wig.
We'll get you a
Yeah,
wig. We'll get you a wig.
that's fine. I'll get a wig. But yeah, that'd be a great idea. I'll make that happen. I promise.
Is there a price tag on the kingdom? Yeah.
60. Well, right now it's on sale through Amazon like 32% off. So it's 67.99 for the series, and then normal retail is $100.
Mm,
I
it's not
guess I
bad.
know what I'll be pre-ordering after.
Yep, man. I love Amazon because they allow you to like pre-order and just pay later. It's
Hmm.
also very fucking dangerous because I have a habit of just pre-ordering, thinking like, oh, and then releases start stacking up. Like February, it's going to be that, and then another release I'm going to be talking about is going to be on there, and it just adds up. So I need
Mhm.
to pay more attention to Amazon, be more responsible.
It's kind of like a ignorance is bliss thing where you postpone those charges till then, and then later, like, I'll deal with that
Yeah, that's future
when
me's
the
problem,
time
dude.
comes. Yeah,
I'll be
exactly,
happy in the long run.
for sure. Okay, uh my next pick is actually a Criterion release that is coming out from the date of this that we're shooting this podcast 2 days from now. And I'm so happy that they're finally doing this, which is the Chantal Ackerman box set, who is one of my favorite directors of all time. Um, I actually own like a lot of her stuff already because they have the Eclipse series that came out a while ago that has a lot of the short films and News from Home and a few other things that she's done. But this is great because it actually has John Dielman also in there. All of her work basically from I think 1968 to 1978, which she was making a ton of movies. Just a really inspiring figure to me, and just how she approached filmmaking. And to have that all in the beautiful box set, the cover, I could post a graphic in this video. It's just gorgeous. I can't wait to own it. Another one we were talking about, like, should I wait till the July sale, or I might just say fuck it and buy it during the flash sale that happens in February. So yeah, I mean that's just something tailor made for someone like me who loves her work. Comes out in 2 days, so I'm just the anticipation is really real, and I love her work. Do you guys are you guys fans of her at all?
Only film I know of hers is Jean Dielman, and I absolutely adored it. So that's I definitely will be purchasing it, probably on a flash sale, to kind of venture more down that rabbit hole. But I mean, without a flash sale, for the content that you're getting there, I feel like it's pretty reasonably priced.
It kind of is, yeah.
It's like $100. Like that's pretty dope for a box set. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
I
I
have
think.
not seen any of her works. John Dielman has been on my
Oh
to
wow.
watch for a
So good.
while, and I need to correct that.
To be fair, it's a big pill to swallow when the
Yeah.
time does. This has always been like daunting. News from Home actually I love almost just as much as John Dielman because that's like a very raw and relatable sort of documentary about her experience of living in New York by herself, and it's like it just really hits home for me. And yeah, she's just a very personal and revealing filmmaker. So I recommend if you have the Criterion channel just to watch like her shorts. Um, she has a whole film just like kind of photographing an abandoned hotel in New York, and it's just the photography is gorgeous, and just kind of like a time capsule of urban lifestyle in the 70s. So I love her. So I hope people check her out with this box set and just in general. Besides John Dielman, because that's like the greatest film of all time compared to the Sight and Sound list. So um, yeah,
But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. Like I said, I love Jean Dielman, and I know that's very like the basic entryway to her work. So I'm excited to kind of venture down more.
all right, Charlotte, you're next.
Okie dokie. So mine is To Die For
Mhm.
from Gus Van Sant, starring my mother, Nicole Kidman. Fucking love that woman. Favorite actress of all time. The most beautiful woman who will ever exist in my eyes.
100%. Yeah.
Um, I'm just really hyped that Criterion is bringing this one back into circulation. I've never actually seen it, but I love Gus Van Sant and I love Nicole, so I'm really excited that she now will have two films in the Criterion collection, the other being The Others. And it just
How
looks
convenient.
like a lot of fun. I loved every Gus Van Sant film I've seen. particularly My Own Private Idaho, starring River Phoenix and Keanu Reeves. Really, really beautiful queer film.
Yeah,
to
I
rewatch that
agree.
one.
Gus Van Sant is for a while it was I was really I still do, but discovering My Own Private Idaho and Elephant and all that stuff, I was holy shit, this guy does not get enough shine in the world of directors, and I'm yet to die for. I've also never seen, but it's got Nicole Kidman and Joaquin Phoenix. It's got a hell of a. It just looks so promising. I can't. I'm probably gonna blind buy that as well. Um, and also like just another wish fulfillment thing. I would love if they released Elephant on Criterion in terms of Gus Van Sant. And
Mhm.
also in terms of Nicole Kidman, I would love to see Birth released on Criterion, which is a Jonathan Glazer movie that I fucking love so much. So yeah, that's just wishful thinking again.
Oh, for
That's some good
sure.
wishful thinking. I've never
Yeah.
seen Birth, but Elephant, yeah. I don't even think there's a Blu-ray for that, is there? Just like I just
No,
have a DVD release of
I
it.
have the DVD too. Yeah. And Birth would
Damn.
be great because Zone of Interest is making a lot of waves right now, obviously. So
Mhm.
maybe some more. Um,
I want to see it so fucking bad, and I can't.
Mm,
you guys are gonna love it. I hope it comes out. Just really.
February 2nd for
Yeah.
me. So,
Did you pre-order a ticket?
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's as good as they're saying it. I loved it so much. Um, Jonathan Glazer is another director that I just would love to have cool additions for all of his movies. I know Under the Skin's got a cool re-release for 8 by A24, but Birth and Sexy Beasts are just two very, very overlooked movies that I would love to have like a cool, proper, Arrow release, whatever.
Hmm.
I didn't know
You
Under
know,
the Skin had a re-release. That's hella cool. I might have to hop
I
on that.
think, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, I
who's
Yeah.
A24, I mean not A24, Zone of Interest was my most anticipated film of last year. However, since the release of that got so fucked, it is now my most anticipated release of this year.
Um, um, also, like, Gus Van Sant is being mentioned. He has a new TV series coming out, Capote versus the Swans on FX, starring Naomi Watts and Chloe Sevigny and Molly Ringwald, and I'm sure a bunch of other great
wow,
actresses that I'm forgetting.
that's great news.
Indeed,
Mhm.
it's
Love to see
yeah.
him working. Yeah.
Damn.
Is My Own Private Idaho, I guess this is only other Criterion release,
I
if
think
I'm not mistaken.
um he has,
Malinoche.
yeah,
Yeah, that
which
one.
is only on DVD,
Right,
unfortunately.
right.
So
Yeah, he has enough like really esoteric kind of underseen movies that I feel like Criterion would resurrect, which would like really work.
mhm.
Elephant, obviously, and Last Days, which I love. Um, yeah, love Gus. Good guy. Ant-Man, you want to go?
Yeah. So this one, another February release. Rip my pocket. It is the four, I think, I'm pretty sure. Let me look it up before I say anything. I'm pretty sure, I'm 99.9% sure it's Arrows that's putting this out. Um, yep. So Arrow releasing of the 4K restorations of both Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. Two
Mm-hmm.
films that I absolutely adored when I was a kid. I have not seen them since I was a kid. I adore me some Arnold Schwarzenegger goodness, and just the packaging on those look really dope. Especially, what sucks is I kind of want to buy them solo because I like the individual artworks, like the poster artworks for Conan the Barbarian. Really reminds me of like, um, oh shit, I think it was called Frost and Fire. Just that I love that old school like 70s, 80s hand drawn poster artwork,
Mm-hmm.
which very much has that. Um, yeah, and that's one I never, I did not think that this was ever going to get a re-release because I didn't think that anybody would really give a shit, let alone a 4K, like with HDR. All right, bet you got me. Uh, Amazon's got it on sale for a really good price for both of them. So instead of spending $90, you spend $40. I will do it.
I'm right there with you. That was a movie I loved as a child too, and I feel like just revisiting it on physical release is gonna like reignite the love. I think it's good. It's been so long. But the same thing happened with Flash Gordon because like I hadn't seen that since I was a kid. And I bought that 4K and I'm like, no, this movie rips even harder as an adult.
Yeah.
Um, just like the most gorgeous transfer you could ever imagine. I don't know if you guys have seen that on 4K, but like holy fuck.
Yep.
Um,
Arrow does great on transfers.
I
audio
really want to.
transfer too.
I really want to watch that one, especially after seeing Barbarella, which my friend Erica, who I watched it with, compared it to and said that like Flash Gordon is basically male Barbarella.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's a great comparison. That Barbarella cover is fucking gorgeous too. I want that so bad.
it's
Same.
so stunning. I regret not showing it off at the beginning.
It's okay. We got too many releases. I could pull everything out of my cabinet
Right.
and show it off. Barbarella though, like man, I didn't even know that was getting a release. So whenever you posted it, I think you posted it and I think Chili posted it, and I was like, fuck. Gotta add it to the cart again. My wallet hates
$25
me.
right now during the Barnes and Noble.
25?
Mm-hmm.
Is the arrow
During
sales
the Barnes
go?
and Noble Arrow sale.
How long does that go on for?
I think it's until February.
Right. We'll
I
make
might
that
have to
happen.
go there after we were stop recording.
Yeah.
Have to make Oh man. I was gonna ask in the vein of Barbarian, do they have a Masters of the Universe release that's pretty good? Because I would also like to rewatch that from my childhood.
I don't think so, to be honest. I can't. That's. I'm with you on that one. I would love to rewatch that because I have the movie in my head as one thing, and I would love to see if it like is still up there. Um,
Exactly.
it's I don't know. It's like a legend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Don't
loved.
talk shit about
Hold
Legend.
on. I loved Legend when I was a kid. I still very much enjoy it now. And I'm really glad that I own the Arrow release of it. But
Amazing.
yeah, it's not the movie that I remembered it being, although it's still really good. I still really enjoy it.
I didn't see
Um,
it until I was a teenager, so maybe that's why I don't. But I love that movie. So.
yeah, I used to watch it when I was a kid. Same with this and Flash Gordon, He-Man, all that stuff. Even Barbarella, which is wild.
The fact that movie is rated PG is fucking insane.
Hey, that's what you could get away with.
Different times, yeah. I'm so mad that they're remaking Barbarella. I think that's like a horrendous idea.
They're
Um,
remaking Barbarella.
that
Yeah.
was news to me until right now. That sucks.
With Sydney Sweeney as Barbarella. Yeah. It's no bueno for me. It's like
Hopefully it'll be cool, but I don't know. The original, which I just saw last night and already fucking am obsessed with, is like so.
it's just remaking sci-fi movies from that era, especially just how kitschy and practical they all are, and how
Mhm.
these 80s-ness kind of like contributes to the love of those movies. Like remaking that for a new audience is just so backwards in preserving the love for those movies for me.
Yeah,
So it's like,
I don't see that
yeah,
transferring very well into
'Cause
like a
I feel like
modern.
the great thing about movies like that is like they have that charming quality to them
exactly.
and stuff, and I can't see that being replicated. Like, what are they going to do? Make Barbarella edgy? Like,
Probably.
I don't want edgy Barbarella. I mean, it could be cool, I guess, but
Yeah, I'll
we'll see.
reserve judgment, but not to go on a tangent, but it's like the same feeling I have with the Toxic Avenger remake. It's like making that into a mainstream horror movie is
Dude,
with a very mainstream cast. I'm like, that's a trauma movie. Like that's not remaking Halloween or Texas Chainsaw here. Like, what are you guys doing?
yeah,
Mhm.
I could do an entire podcast on how my thoughts about the Toxic Avenger remake. Um, the trailer though, I will say this. So once they released the trailer, prior to that, I was like, this sounds like an absolutely fucking stupid idea. It was supposed to be like a more They were trying to market it kind of a la Toxic Crusaders in a sense, like
Right.
the kids cartoon. So it was going to be like very Earth Day type friendly, family friendly film, kind of like Captain Planet
Captain Planet,
meets.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was going to be like that. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that because if you watch Toxic Avenger, any of the four, with the take away Toxic Crusaders, none of those films are like that, and it's all very violent and cheesy, and like
Hmm.
I don't see that working. But then I guess I don't know. It sounds like they're doing it like rated R, and the trailer came out. I still don't think I don't know how I'm gonna feel about Peter Dinklage being the Toxic Avenger. That's fucking
Yeah,
weird to me. The
pretty odd.
mop looks really stupid too, and the little silhouette. I'm gonna try to turn my brain off and have fun with that because it's already
Yeah,
made. But that's one that I don't see that I don't that was not a necessary remake.
no.
The original
No.
everybody still talks to. It still shows in theaters relatively frequently to pretty much sold out audiences whenever it does. So I don't see the
Hmm.
need for a remake.
It's the quintessential trauma movie too. It's like those exist in such a lightning in a bottle sort of era of just dumb, stupid horror movies, and to try to recreate that or just use that as a blueprint, I think is just silly. Just
Yep.
like craft a new movie if you're gonna go that route, because it's not like the fan base of for a new generation is that big for Toxic Avenger. But yeah, we could do a whole podcast. I
Yeah.
don't want to derail this right now.
Trauma pod?
I just watched Redneck Zombies for the first time, and
Man, that movie's
that was
so fucking fun,
it's
dude. It's
fucking
so
blast. Yeah. I want to
yeah.
buy the is it a severed
Vincent,
release of it? Yeah.
Vinegar
Uh,
Syndrome.
Vinegar
Uh,
Syndrome. Yeah.
they put out, man, the list of they put out that Mother's Day Killer Condom on 4K, which
Hmm.
fucking blows my mind. Rabid Grannies, like Blood Sucking Freaks on 4K.
Hmm.
I don't know when the hell that happened, but Vinegar Syndrome is like, yo, I'm just gonna throw out all these like trauma classics. Here you go. I'm
Hmm.
like, damn, my wallet even further.
What was the condom movie you said?
Killer
Killer
Condom.
Condom. Okay.
Yep, it was wrecked. It was one of our the patrons in the Discord since we do early bird movie like discussions on Mondays, thanks to Charlotte. Um, that was wrecked last time, and I'm like, dude, early bird discussions usually kind of we gravitate towards more like weirder stuff that would normally not be discussed on like a standard Saturday discussion.
Right.
But even then, like Killer Condom, I was saying, fuck, I don't see that one going very well. I have fun with it. I have the original theatrical poster and I have it on DVD, but the fact that it got a 4K from Vincent just baffles me. It's crazy. I love it.
We love that. That
It's
movie shot to the
amazing.
top of my watch list now. It's just title alone.
It's very apropos for queer horror. Love it.
Hmm. Side note, what are you guys doing for the early bird thing this week?
We are
Charlotte.
doing I won early bird this week. So we are doing God, you put me on the spot and I've forgotten the name.
Is it The Stranger by the Lake? Is that it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Stranger by the
Okay.
Lake. I watched it the other day.
Okay.
It's gonna make for an interesting discussion, I think.
I will try to
Yep.
be there because I've never been. I will try to join for that.
Yeah, I'd
Hell yeah,
love to
dude.
have you.
Yep.
I would love to be there.
This week's theme was queer horror. I think we got one more theme, right? Or was that the last one?
That was the last one if Theo doesn't rejoin
I
early
would love to
bird.
do like another theme wheel.
I really
It's really
want
fun.
to. I think we're
Yeah.
gonna take a little bit of a break and then get back to it
Hell yeah.
because I have a good theme.
I think I got a pretty solid one. But yeah,
Excited.
early bird, join the Misfit Pond Discord. $5 a month gets you more friends and than you can ever count on, and just discuss
Absolutely.
movies like a bunch of nerds. It's great. That was my shameless plug,
For
Carlos.
Carlos. It's all right. He's paying residuals for all the plugs we give him, so we can plug him as much as we'd like.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Was it my turn? Who went last? Sorry, we got
It was
lost
your
in the
turn.
weeds there. Okay, cool. Another Criterion release. They just been putting out a lot of incredible new titles and this one's no stranger to anyone who loves movies, but Trainspotting. I'm so happy that that's finally coming out. That's for my money one of the greatest movies of the '90s, if not of all time. I love it so much. It's got one of the greatest soundtracks ever put to film. It's got one of the best depictions of addiction for my money ever put to film, and just a perfect movie all around. And just like we were saying, like how long? Why did it take this long for Trainspotting to get a proper release on Criterion? That's just crazy to me, especially because Danny Boyle already had Shallow Grave, which is his precursor to Trainspotting, which I also think is a great movie. And yeah, I just cannot wait to experience this movie on high definition and all the supplements. I love hearing Danny Boyle talk about his own movies. He's introspective, and he also has like a distance kind of from his movies because they're all like different genres and like what inspired them and all that stuff. He's just really a great British presence to listen to when you watch his movies. So I can't wait to get my hands on it, and that comes out again like next week. So when that sale comes up, I'm firing off. So I'm sure you guys also, if you've seen it, love the movie. It's pretty
Oh yeah.
well known.
I've never finished it because it traumatized me in high school, but I plan on buying it and watching it fully because I feel like I would really like it now.
Dude,
That's more than fair to be traumatized.
It
that
was the baby
fucking-
scene.
I was just
remember-
about to say that the
Yeah.
fucking baby scene.
I imagine. Yeah. Ugh. It's also rewatching it recently when he's kind of having withdrawals in bed, and it becomes this kind of gothic horror sequence of him being haunted by like everyone in his life, and it's just so well done. I just commend Danny Boyle so much for that movie. It's really a fearless depiction of drugs. It's not really exploiting anything or going, it's not like Spun or whatever. Those types of movies, but yeah, I cannot wait.
Who's like
That baby scene, like the first time I saw Trainspotting, I got really, really, really high before watching it, and so when I saw the baby scene, I was like, "Fuck, dude, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done for now. This shit." Still to this day, I just don't like the way it's fucking scary to me. I know it looks comical, but and I don't know what it is about it. It's just very unsettling to me. I don't like it, but I love the
It-
movie.
triggered like one of the worst depressive episodes I've had in my
Wow.
life. So
Damn.
but now I'm well medicated, so
You could bill Danny Boyle for your psychiatric bills or whatever. That's crazy. I know what's that.
Prozac, sponsor the Cinebums.
I just got put back on Prozac. Yay.
I mean, if there's any podcasts with mental health problems as sponsors, we're their podcast for that. So hit us up, guys.
We need it.
Yeah,
I
it's not
do.
cheap.
It ain't cheap at all. No. Also, in terms of Danny Boyle, I would love to see a Sunshine Criterion. I'd love to see a 28 days later Criterion.
And they have
Like,
the
God,
new movie coming
masterpiece.
out.
Mhm.
Finally. I don't know how I feel about that. Well, was Danny Boyle attached? He wasn't attached to 28 Weeks Later, right?
No, he might have been a producer. I know Alex Garland wrote that also. I actually haven't seen 28 Weeks Later.
It's all right, but
Mm.
it's cool to. I know 28 years later, as Charlotte mentioned, it's finally getting in the works, and it's going to be directed apparently by Danny Boyle and written by Alex Garland. So I'm like, fuck. All right, let's take
yeah.
it back.
They need to merge together and do another movie because I miss them as a partnership a lot.
Same.
Yeah. And 28 Days Later doesn't really have a proper release, right? Like
Nope.
I have a DVD copy, and it's shot in VHS, so kind of works for that, but I would love a restoration like most people would. I mean, that movie's gorgeous to look at.
Yeah, it just has like
Mhm.
like a shitty standard Blu-ray release, and I'm glad in the horror communities and stuff that the film is starting to come back full circle and get the recognition that it deserves.
Mhm.
And it would be really nice to have like a boutique label pick that up and do a really proper great release because that film is it's more than just a virus or zombie movie or whatever. Like that's just
Mm-hmm.
a small portion of it, as far as I'm concerned. That film has so much to say that people often overlook.
100%. Yeah. I talk about moments that fucked me. Have you guys both seen the movie
I
28 Days?
haven't, but you
Okay, never mind.
can.
I don't want to spoil.
Charlotte, add it to
There's
the list.
I'll say there's a scene with an eye in this movie that fucked me
Oh,
up for a long time.
vibe.
And but yeah, great movie and love Danny Boyle. Love the man. All
I
right,
think
mission.
you really dig it, Charlotte.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sure I would. There's just so much stuff out there, and but no, I'm gonna add it to my watch list now that you both recommended it.
Hell yeah.
Nice, nice. All right, you're up next, Charlotte. Then number
Okie
4.
dokie. Mine is another release from Deaf Crocodile, sub-partner of Vincent. It is Bill Plimpton's The Tune. It's an animated film which I haven't seen, but like just like from the trailer, I'm getting like Lynch meets Archie comics and stuff. It's very like that
Wow.
aesthetic and vibe. It looks beautiful, and this release is fucking stacked with special features. It's up for pre-order right now, should be coming out sometime later this month. And yeah, the features on it are really what's like dragging me in and stuff, particularly the fact that there are like several short films on it as well. And short films are probably my favorite supplement that a film can have. So
Hell yeah.
Archie meets David Lynch. That's a
Fucking
hard sell
sold.
for me. Yeah.
it's like
That looks like David
Yep.
Lynch.
Let me
yeah.
add that real quick.
Oh man. Side note, Charlotte and I have talked about doing like a full-on adult animation podcast. But I just need to see more of these. I feel like there's something like that would be such a great addition to those lists. So I kind of got to do some homework. So
Yeah.
Charlotte, if you could make me a list of stuff in that vein, I will do the homework and we could finally talk about that stuff. And
I'm
Ant-Man, if you
hyped.
want to come on, you're more than welcome to.
I would
Yeah.
definitely. I've seen quite a bit of adult animation. I just gotta brush up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Finding out that you haven't watched Wizards is like insane to me, Jake.
Wizards.
The Ralph
Damn.
Bakshi film.
I know. I'm like I said, it's a big, big blind spot and it's embarrassing.
Well,
Every
nothing to be ashamed of.
every
Just
every animation fanatic has told me to watch Wizards. Like it's one of the greatest things ever, and I know always put it off for some reason. So
just means you have something to look forward to.
Yep.
that's true. That's true. Too busy watching trauma movies, I guess, and
I
weird
love
cock.
that.
Yeah.
I love that you had fun with Redneck Zombies, dude. That makes me really happy.
Shout out to Chandler in the Discord. We watched it together at like 2 a.m, and it was the best time.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
It was yeah, great piece of cinema right there. All right, yeah, that's what is it? What was the partner release it called again? It's a really cool
Death
name.
Crocodile. They're a company that specializes in animation, and like weird Eastern European fantasy films from like
Mm,
the 70s through now, but mostly like in that 80s sort of niche era.
okay.
I've just become obsessed with them because everything they put out looks like something I'd love. And I think the person who is sort of over their company was in charge of the restoration of Son of a White Mare. If you haven't seen it, please do. It's an amazing film that's just like really stunning, and he did a great job with the restoration of it.
Nice.
It makes me happy to hear that there is a company that is rescuing these animated films from fucking obscurity and giving them the light of day. That's another important thing about physical media is like there's going to be a time where servers shut down or something like the now granted it's old as shit, but the Xbox 360 online servers are going to shut down this year, and after that, all those digital games that were exclusive to them are
Hmm.
gone, and you'll
Yeah.
never be able to get them again. And that sucks because that's people put in work, people enjoy those games or whatnot. Same thing for films. Like you hear all the time where people where companies that are hosting like the digital copies of things go under and like, okay, well, you lose your movies and that sucks.
I've always had that thought about Shudder because I'm a huge fan of them, and they're like the original Shudder releases, especially that don't always get physical releases. And I always wonder if they ever get bought out by a bigger company. Would, I think Amazon owns partially the Shudder rights right now. Um, but it's just like, where would those movies go? And there's so many amazing like original new horror movies that come out on Shudder every year, and that would really fucking suck if they ever just vanished in thin air.
Yeah.
Um,
And then we
yeah,
see companies like doing fucked up shit where they delete films specifically for like financial reasons and whatnot, or TV
hmm
series. We saw that happen with like a lot of stuff when the HBO Warner Brothers Cartoon Network merger happened, and it's really scary and unfortunate because if you really, really love these things, you want to be able to continue viewing them and showing your friends and your kids and stuff.
Yeah.
totally.
But I don't think it should be an option on whether you get to watch like continue to watch something or not. Like if
Yeah.
something is put out there, you should have the opportunity to be able to purchase it and keep it for yourself if you want to.
Yeah. And then you have video game companies talking about how people need to get used to not owning their games and stuff. And it's just like a fucked up thought to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Xbox 360 servers going down, like a lot of those movies, they're not going to be available even on like Xbox Game Pass or anything like that. Because like those
Nope.
movies, I feel like those are easily salvageable, at least like the original Xbox and Microsoft titles like that. Like that's
Nope.
crazy to me.
Yeah, the ones that are gonna there's like 200 titles that are just gonna get lost into the oblivion because they're not backwards compatible or anything. So it's
Right.
there, and when the summer comes, if you're a fan of playing the Xbox 360 games on their online servers, well, tough shit. In summertime, it goes away. Sorry, that sucks. To like,
That's so sad.
yeah, that sucks. That's a fucking a reality. Like, man, and
That's
that could
yeah.
easily just happen with anything. That could happen with movies or music or anything. And like, it's just a very real like. That's what scares me. Like, about the whole streaming thing. And I know people a couple of friends of mine sold all their collections and stuff like that because like, oh, I can find everything digitally. I'm like, but you're not owning it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And man, I don't know. I like to have things like within my control in a sense. So like I can control what I buy. I can go out there, buy something, have it. I can control whenever I watch that. I'm not giving somebody else's like somebody doesn't have like that authority to come in my cabinet and just take something and away from me. Like
Mhm.
no, that's safe and secure in there. So that's the streaming thing. It's great because there are some things that get uploaded on some of these streaming services that haven't been shown the light of day or something. And that's cool. But hey, if you're gonna go this far, like let's get a physical release.
And then like there's just the whole re-editing and, censorship of it all too, which is
Yep.
Yeah, that's
yeah, conversation for another day.
Yeah.
the terrifying thought though too. It's like the changing someone's art form just to fit the times is like such a
Yeah.
yeah, it's a terrifying thought. But on a lighter note, Ant-Man,
I don't know if this
what
is
you
gonna
got?
be much of a lighter note, but
It can only
uh,
go up from that thought for sure.
so you know what? I will make it light. I will switch it. So for my fourth one, I am going to really get super hyped for something that I have not seen in almost 20 years. Um, and I when I watched it, back then. I used to watch it quite frequently with this, and I would double feature it, weirdly enough, because it doesn't make sense. I would double feature this with a movie called Mirror Mask, which I know that Charlotte is very much um, a fan of. But it is getting a 4K release, and I'm trying to see next month. So another February title. Wow, the beginning of the year is starting to become very expensive. And that is Paprika.
Oh,
Yes.
Paprika is getting a 4K. I think
Mhm.
animated films look incredible on 4K, especially if there's like HDR as well. It just allows those colors to pop and
mm,
just become so vibrant. And then with it being on 4K, things get a little bit sharper. And even if it's like a hand-drawn film like The Lion King, I think The Lion King looks absolutely incredible in 4K. And it's just I think honestly 4K is best if it's an older film, like stuff that they do, like with Double Indemnity when Criterion put that out on 4K, it fucking looks incredible.
Yeah.
I think if it's an older film like that, or if it's an animated film, that's when 4K looks the best. I not so much modern films, although I mean I will buy it if it's on 4K because why not? But um, yeah, I love seeing when an animated film gets brought into 4K, and I don't really know much else from Satoshi Kon. I don't. Did Satoshi Kon do Perfect Blue?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. I have not seen Perfect Blue, and I know Blair is gonna like immediately get pissed about that because it's definitely on my radar. I want to see Perfect Blue. Um,
Have you
I've
seen Millennium Actress?
no, I've seen Tokyo Godfathers though.
Millennium Actress is like top five favorite animated films for me of all time. You must.
it's so beautiful and probably the
Mhm.
most underseen of his films, I think.
It's just like a cosmic acid trip of just so many emotions. It's like
Shit,
you
sold.
must see it.
Everything he's done
Yeah.
is just fantastic.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's shit. I'm down.
Have you seen
Paprika.
Paprika?
Me? Yeah,
You've
I've
seen
seen
Paprika? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I saw Pep, but I saw it back on like was it 2006 when it came out?
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's how long that's the last time I saw it was like 2006, 2007-ish. That's also the last time I saw Mirror Mask. So I really hope that Mirror Mask eventually gets a release. Definitely not Japanese animated film. It's Mirror Mask is really weird because it reminds me of like
It's a Jim Henson film, but it uses a lot of CGI, but it's like really interesting looking CGI.
yeah, and it's got like I don't want to say like what is the word like a filter over it. I don't know. It's a unique film. I've never really seen very many films that kind of look like how Mirror Mask looks. So I really hope that gets a release. But shit, if Paprika's getting a release, especially a 4K one, and it's a steelbook, not really a big fan of steelbooks, but the cover art is amazing, so I will take it. Maybe Mirror Mask will get a release down the line.
Mhm. I hope
Yeah, same.
so. I actually borrowed Perfect Blue from Chandler again. Shout out to Chandler, the 4K steelbook, and I cannot wait to pop that in. I haven't seen it in like a decade. And same with Paprika. So, but Satoshi Kon is such an artist, man. Just God, you can't sing his praises enough. And I hope you like Perfect Blue too.
I'm pretty sure I will.
Mhm.
Like I generally like most of like the things that Blair really praises, and I know Perfect Blue is like up on her tier list very high, highly regarded. So I don't know why. There's again streaming services. I'm going, I see it's right
Yeah,
there, and
yeah.
like I want to put it on, but I want to give it like the proper due. Um, whenever I have time to dedicate solely just something, and I'm not distracted by I don't know my phone or my kid or my wife or my dog. I just would like to have that one be where I can dedicate some time and watch because I feel like it's super hyped up, so I'm scared.
Satoshi Kon in general is best experienced with full immersion because his movies are so complex. And yeah, shout out to Blair. She had Perfect Blue, I think, is her number one of the 1990s list. So it's like
See,
that. Yeah, it's high praise for sure. But Yeah, I concur. He's one of the best. Uh, okay. Uh, I'll do my number four now. We've been talking about Vinegar Syndrome all day, so I have another release that they finally came out with. Pretty deranged duo of films that I love called Freeway One and Two, but directed by Matthew Bright. The first one oddly starring Reese Witherspoon in like one of her breakout performances. And yeah, like those two movies are so different in their own ways, but they're basically just the first one's more of a cat and mouse thriller, and the second one becomes that with like an absurdist. I can't even describe the second one. It's like in the vein of like a John Waters movie or like a very satirical take on the American South and everything. But I love them both so much. Like they're very under discussed movies in the pantheon of like thrillers and even just horror movies, I
Very
guess you can call them. Yeah.
mhm,
And
fairy tale adaptations.
yeah, there you go. And Vincent Gallo shows up in the second one as I think a transgender person, which is really interesting to see him do that. And yeah, and just again seeing Reese Witherspoon in that the first movie, she's like electric and so committed to the tone of that deranged movie. It's just really interesting to see. And the cover art, which I'll probably post again in the video, is just gorgeous. And I've never owned a maybe Ant-Man. I don't know if you have, but the Vinegar Syndrome sort of double packs or box sets. So I'm excited to jump on that. And yeah, I'm happy they're putting out more weird shit as they do, and I think those are gonna really look cool on the restoration. So
Yeah, I have
yeah.
the Freeway 4K. I did not get the Freeway 2, and now there's a double pack, so now I'm conflicted. But the Freeway, the first one 4K is incredible. So
Mhm.
I've never seen the second one. I'm now more intrigued than ever to watch it.
It's so crazy. I can't even describe it, but it's a really fun time. I think both of you would really appreciate it. It's the tone that it's going for.
Love the first one. I haven't seen the second one either,
Mhm.
but I'm sure I would really dig it.
Mhm. I think so too. Um, so yeah, that's my fourth pick. I guess we're in our last round here of picks. So Charlotte, if you want to kick us off.
So this one hasn't been officially released, but deductive reasoning skills says that it will come out this year. It is my number one film of 2024, or not 2023. The
Close.
Boy and the Heron from Two
Hmm.
Kids, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Most likely going to be released through Shout Factory, which is what G Kids does all of their releases through for the most part. And it's just a really beautiful film, and I'm super duper hyped to be able to just watch it over and over and over again. And I'm sure they'll have some really amazing special features on it too. Feels like just a culmination of all of Miyazaki's best films. And if it does end up being his last film, it feels like a really apt Karen song.
I 100% agree. I mean, like you and I definitely sung its praises in the Discord a lot. That movie's just so incredible, and I can yeah, like all of his movies, I can't wait to own that and watch them over and over and over and over again and dissect it and experience that first initial cry that I had in the theaters. And man, I imagine you saw boy. Oh, sorry, you didn't. Okay.
I did not, I want to kick myself in the ass for not seeing that. It was tough. It was either see that or see Godzilla minus one. And I'm not going
Mhm.
to say that like I regret my decision because I fucking adored Godzilla minus one. It was amazing to see Toho like come back, especially after all like the shitty like American Godzilla films that we've gotten, which are still fun in their own right. It's not really, I don't know, Godzilla per se, because I feel like the American versions, like the one thing they always get wrong is the human story. Of course, the
Mhm.
monster story is great, but the human story is it's always lackluster.
Yeah.
Godzilla minus one has a fantastic human story and great monster action. Definite callbacks from the original is great, but so it was kind of a tough one, and I don't know when Boy and the Heron is going to get released, even on VOD. So it sucks because like that is up there in terms of something that I'm like aching to see, and I'm checking every Tuesday on Vudu to see if like it's been like what is that, like the watch at home or whatnot, like releases or
Mhm.
new to rent. Like I'm checking every Tuesday to see if that's up there because I want to see that in Zone of Interest. But definitely Boy with the Heron. I was also, when it came out, I was not in a good mood mentally, and I know
Mhm.
that sometimes like Miyazaki films can really strike a chord, an
Yeah.
emotional chord, and I didn't, kind of wasn't prepared to go down that route. Which weirdly enough, I still fucking cried watching Godzilla minus one. But yeah, I wasn't ready to have my heart handed to me in that sense. And also, like, if that is his final film, like, it does kind of suck to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Um,
But he's
Totally.
allegedly already working on a new one, so
Exactly. Yeah.
okay, well, never mind.
fingers crossed.
Scratch all that.
It's kind of anecdotal though, because who knows if he'll be able to finish the movie in time.
Just don't let
Uh,
his son finish it for
yeah,
him.
let's
Oh, was it Gil?
keep Goro out of the
Yeah,
edit of
Gil.
the animation department at all costs, please.
I will
Um,
say I loved From Up on Poppy Hill, but I feel like that's because his dad pretty much was in control of that
he
movie.
helicopter directed that whole thing, yeah.
Mhm.
And I
Did,
think Boy and the Heron had a lot of people helping him. I don't know if Goro was one of them.
Mhm.
It'd be interesting to see the supplements if he's like included in the the
Yeah.
sort of. But yeah, I mean, if that's his swan song film, then that's like there's nothing more fitting. I'll say that.
did you ever see that little documentary of like uh, Miyazaki going to see like a premiere of Goro's film, and he fucking walked out and is all pissed off. Like not pissed, but he walked out and just smoked a cigarette, and they're like, "How do you feel?" It's like, "It's not good.
Yeah,
I don't like it."
I've seen the clip.
I'm
He
like,
just
"Damn."
straight up like, yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I'm like,
I think he could have done better. I'm like, yeah, most animators could have done better. It's kind of
yeah,
sad, but
Yeah. But
it's nepotism, you know. It's a whole other
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
great director. Maybe not a great dad, but
I mean, you
Yeah.
can't be as meticulous and as dedicated to their work and be a good dad at the same time. Who
Yep. I mean,
that's
that's like the old school like Japanese mentality. It's like work first and family second. That's why you
exactly.
see like documentaries on like the documentary Jiro, Dreams of Sushi.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
dude,
Love that one.
he's like, I don't know if he's still practicing, but like at 7 years old, he was still doing every day making sushi every day. Like fuck, dude, I could not
Yeah.
fathom 7 days a week working and just to be that dedicated and to be that involved in your craft for so many years and still do not think that you're a master of what you're doing. Like,
Hmm.
blows my mind. So that's a mentality where it sucks because from a family perspective, like they're relatively non-existent, but from like just a sheer passion and like work ethic, I mean that's pretty admirable.
It is. It,
Double-edged sword.
it weirdly makes me think of the Banshees of Inisherin and Brendan Gleeson's character kind of it's like what you devote your time to. It's like the artistry and making a dent in the culture versus
Mhm.
like having fulfilling relationships. It's like
Yeah.
such a yeah, it's such a timeless kind of theme just in art in general. So
Shout out
yeah,
Banshees of
I
Inisherin,
love I
masterpiece.
love I think of Banshees on a yeah pretty frequent basis. So
brilliant
yeah,
Same.
film.
it's so goddamn good. Yeah. All right,
Colin
amazing
Farrell
pick.
is actual daddy.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I will be buying Boy and the Heron whenever it comes out too, so that's a really good pick there. Ant-Man, what's your last pick for upcoming releases?
So I'm gonna bring it back down. Um, bringing back a second sight release, and that is going to be for the upcoming Second Sight limited edition, beautiful packaging release of Brandon Cronenberg's Possessor. I think I love Brandon Cronenberg, honestly. Like I think he's got a really fucking awesome career ahead of him. Um, I really hate when people kind of will claim like, oh, he's just biting off his dad's coattails, which I can kind of see that, but like he is carving his own pathway. He's got his own voice, he's got his own vision. It does some of it does resemble like works of his dad, but that's not necessarily a bad thing at all. You know, what better way to have what better mentor to have
Yeah.
than your father, who David Cronenberg, which to me is one of my favorites. At least top five, maybe top 10 favorite directors easily. But Possessor, that film just man, fuck took my brain, threw it in a blender, threw it back in, and just forced me to sit with it for a while. And I really adored it. And I think Second Sight does amazing releases. So what they're going to do with that is incredible. I'm still really crossing my fingers that at some point somebody's going to do a proper release for Antiviral.
Yeah.
I love
Mhm.
Antiviral. It never gets talked about. I know it's definitely not his best film, but for a first feature film, that movie is absolutely incredible. I loved every minute of it.
Mhm.
And then,
I'm read. Yeah.
oh, go
I
ahead.
I'm
I was
right
gonna
there.
say I'm on the train of defending Brandon Cronenberg and the whole sort of we were just talking about nepotism, funny enough, but he to me like Infinity Pool has like a whole second sort of meaning to it that kind of dismantles the whole idea of nepotism, and he feels guilt, and that came out in Infinity Pool. I don't know if you had that
Mhm.
reading on the movie, but that's kind of how I felt coming out of it. And yeah, his whole vision and craft as a director is so admirable. And Possessor is to me one of the great horror movies of the past like 5 years. It's like
Mhm.
it's just so cosmic and crazy, and yeah.
It's
So I
it, it's cool to see Brandon's like following because I remember I saw Antiviral at a screening at Texas Frightmare Weekend. It was like I think it was like his first time screening either in the US or whatnot. And a lot of the people that were there, weirdly enough, it's a horror convention. They were just like, oh, this is too, it's kind of out there for me. Weird. I was blown away. Immediately went outside. They had two one sheet posters like up on the wall. I grabbed one real quick and framed it and put it in my room. I had to have that. And then seeing Possessor in the theater, there was about maybe opening night. It was like maybe I would say between a fourth and a half of the theater was filled. So it was cool to see there's people that were making their way out there, but then watching Infinity Pool, it was sold out.
Yeah.
yeah
So it's really cool to see like he's gathering his following, and it's cool to see something like Possessor or Infinity Pool on the big screen, and like there's still support. Unfortunately, Infinity Pool got neutered, so it would
yeah
be cool to. I still haven't seen like the unrated or whatnot, but I don't know if that's a release or not. But if so, I'd like to watch it.
hope it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what better company to partner with for Possessor than Second Sight? I mean, just if you haven't taken a look at it, look it up, dude. The artwork that they have going for it is amazing, and the lobby cards again. I love lobby cards, so that's a thing, and I'm fucking stoked. I can't wait.
It really does just look incredible, and I fucking love that movie, so it's definitely on my to buy list.
Yes.
And I just think it brings up the conversation of like, nepotism isn't bad when it's or not it's always bad, but a nepotism baby is not inherently a bad thing if it's warranted. Like if he is like a legitimate artist, which I feel Brandon Cronenberg is, maybe not so much with Goro Miyazaki, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, David Cronenberg's not like it's not like he's a Tarantino or a super well mainstream director. He's kind of carved his own path, and I think Brandon is kind of in that similar boat. Um, of just they're kind of ground zero, very original visions that are really hard to pitch. So I would never say he's got an easy road. Maybe easier than most, but the art speaks for itself, in my opinion. Like you can't like the people that say that just haven't experienced his movies, in my opinion. So
at the end of the
um
day, they're producing something that we enjoy, and that's like
yeah,
really all I care about.
Yeah.
me too.
What's like?
Sofia Coppola, I love. So, and she's
Oh yeah.
Her
Oh
dad
yeah.
makes movies.
and her dad is, I guess, a director, if you want to call it,
I think
a
I've heard
wine
of him.
connoisseur.
Yeah. Um, I think with adore David Cronenberg, and I think whereas he focused a lot more on like body horror and whatnot, which is definitely great, and that's his voice. Um, and he did focus on like original stories. Like there's very few David Cronenberg films that I've seen that are you could probably have somebody else kind of direct it.
Hmm.
And one thing I get Brandon Cronenberg does also touch on body horror, but he also like really embraces um experimental art, like
Yeah.
actual art, like visual art within his films, which that is his voice, I think. The marrying of the two, I think, is incredible. Be cool
Yeah.
to see a father-son team up. I think
I
I'm maybe the only one that would ever think that would be cool, but
Oh, dude, I'd be there day one.
Same.
I also think body horror is such a broad term that, not to say you're wrong about Cronenberg being a body horror director, but like there's elements in Brandon's movies also that kind of embrace the horror of unexplainable kind of flesh sort of horror. I don't know what you call it, but in that
Cronenberg.
yeah, just Cronenberg, long live the new flesh, of course.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I just love that they're both still killing it. I mean, say what you will about Crimes of the Future, they're both making movies that are original as hell.
I'm gonna revisit that one because I feel like I just wasn't watching it in the right mind or the right setting, and which blows. It sucks because other than Crash, which I'm giving that a critical reappraisal, um, there's no other Cronenberg films that I've seen that I don't like. I actually genuinely like everything that I've seen from him, with the exception of Crash and Crimes of the Future.
Hmm.
So it kind
Which
of
is
irks me that I've gone this far, and those two films are where I kind of it loses me.
That's fascinating because those movies are very thematically connected, in my opinion.
I'm a huge
So,
Crimes of the
yeah,
Future apologist, and
me
I feel like
too.
you'll probably like it more upon rewatch,
I
Antman.
hope you do. We
I
need
think
more supporters on our team.
I'm just gonna financially invest myself in it. Second Sight has a release
Hmm.
of Crimes of the Future 4K, so I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet and buy that. So now I have to watch it, and I have to watch it in like a proper mind in a good setting. Because it's seriously like I really adore David Cronenberg, and if we're still getting movies from him, to me it's a treat. The good thing also about Brandon Cronenberg too is like eventually David Cronenberg is going to pass on, but the Cronenberg name
I know.
is still going to live on through Brandon. And if he has a kid and
Yeah.
whatnot, and however that goes, like please keep going.
The lineage of Cronenbergs,
Yeah, but it's cool that name's not going to stop with David's last
Hmm.
film. It's going to be able to continue on with Brandon, and like it just you'll have two amazing, well, hopefully amazing film catalogs under one great name. So I'm all for it.
Me
Yeah,
too.
hopefully we just keep getting weird little
Yes.
horny horror films.
Yes. It's so fucking cool to see that in like a day and age where there's like, I don't know, Marvel 56, which I mean, I like some Marvel films here and there, but like when you're seeing like Marvel movie, whatever it is, insert, and then you see Infinity Pool playing right next to it, you're like, fucking, this is really cool. This
We
is
live
yin
in a
and yang.
time, yeah.
Yep, definitely living the time.
Also, Brandon also has such an eye for amazing talent in terms of his casting because like each of those movies, like Caleb Landry Jones and Antiviral, and then next Christopher Abbott, who's like one of my favorite working actors right now. Andrea Riseborough and Infinity Pool, obviously of Skarsgård and Mia Goth. Like
Mm,
he casts like the right people to fit his tonality and his sensibilities. Like there's so much artistry just even in the casting, and like the fact that people are willing to go all the way for him, I think is really great. So
agreed.
just keep going, man. Keep going. Um anyway, that was your last pick, right?
Hmm.
Cool, cool. My last pick for this is Shout Factory. Release. They're doing a 4K release of Darkman by Sam Raimi. Just massive fan of early Sam Raimi, and particularly that movie. I think is highly under discussed. Kind of the precursor to him doing a more larger budget comic book movie with Spider-Man and stuff like that. But Darkman is such a really beautiful kind of gothic fairy tale movie, um, of just someone's life going to shit. And that movie is just visually just so gorgeous, and the design of the whole city. It's like a precursor to like The Crow or the other kind of gothic fairy tales. And Liam Neeson's very tolerable in this movie, which is kind of a rarity for me. But yeah, it's just another thing is I like to collect directors' filmographies, and Raimi is another one that if they put out a cool release, particularly in the realm of like horror, Evil Dead and all that good stuff, I will buy it. And the packaging of this Darkman set looks gorgeous, so I just can't wait to jump on it. And yeah.
I always love the scene at the carnival.
Yeah,
Give me the fucking or take the
Give a
fucking
fuck.
elephant. So good.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, and I hope they do more of his movies again, like A Simple Plan. I'm a huge fan of. Other stuff. Yeah, I mean they've done Evil Dead and all that good stuff. Crime Wave is another movie I really like. That's kind of a cult movie that I would love to see a cool release of. So yeah, I'm a big Raimi. And you guys, I don't know if we've talked about Raimi on the pod before, but are you guys fans of the early Raimi stuff?
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't
I mean,
seen that much, but I love Evil Dead, and not super duper early, but I love Drag Me to Hell. Um,
Yeah, of course.
I might be the only one hoping this happens, but I really hope that like The Gift gets like another cool release down the line. I
The
remember
Gift is
really
good too.
enjoying
Yeah.
that. I love Sam Raimi. I think that he does outside if you take away Evil Dead, um, he just gets chalked up to the Spider-Man guy, and that's kind
Yeah.
of unfair because, like you said, Darkman is definitely something. Crime Wave, man, that's wild. I've, I've not seen Crime Wave in a good minute, but yeah, he's got more in his filmography that people really should. And A Simple Plan, I'm glad you actually brought that up because I never ever hear anybody talk about A Simple Plan ever.
So
And,
damn good too.
and even if somebody does mention A Simple Plan, when you're like, yeah, it was directed by Sam Raimi, they're like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's not what you would think from coming from Evil Dead, but um, he's definitely has his own voice too, which I think is great.
Mhm.
And even in his more tame films, you can if you're really like well versed within Sam Raimi, you can still kind of spot certain things that you're like, okay, cool. Like
Mhm.
his voice is still there, but it's always cool to see him do something that's a little bit outside of his normal wheelhouse. But yeah, I love Sam Raimi.
Yeah. Even if you see like Doctor Strange, which was not a good movie, there's like elements of his style that like gets that shines through. Like he's one of the most recognizable styles in all of film, and for my opinion, just of someone who makes just multi-genre movies and makes like multi-million-dollar movies. Like I think it's great, and to preserve those earlier movies to see where like kind of his roots, I think is super important too. Like even like The Quick and the Dead, which is a silly
Uh,
ass Western movie, is so much fun.
I fucking
Uh,
love The Quick and the
yeah,
Dead.
yeah,
That's got
yeah.
Raimi written all over it though.
Oh yeah,
Like,
this
dude, outside
definitely.
of Evil Dead, that's probably like most Sam Raimi movie there is, dude. Just in terms
Just
of style.
the quick zooms and the cutting in that movie. Yeah, it's like it's a coked out Western. It's the
Hmm.
best. Yeah.
With a young Leo DiCaprio.
Young Leo, Gene Hackman.
It's a great cast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Charlotte, have you seen Quick and the Dead?
I haven't. Raimi is one of those directors that I really, really need to step my game up on and watch more of their stuff, because I've seen the Spider-Man movies, obviously, and I've seen the Evil Dead movies, and I've seen Drag Me to Hell, but I don't think I've seen anything else by him. Oh, I saw he did the fucking the
The
Wizard of Oz
Oz
movie.
movie.
But yeah.
Yeah.
We like to forget that one in the
Yeah.
pantheon of Raimi for sure. I'm glad you brought up Dragging Me to Hell because that's one of my favorite horror movies of like the century. I just adore that movie a lot. So
It was cool seeing him go back to horror with that one. And
Yeah.
like he
I
came back
know
really strong. That movie was really well received, which is
it
really
was.
cool. Another fun thing with Raimi is I love to spot where the Delta is. Um
Yeah, the
the
car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
since Evil Dead, he puts that vehicle on every single thing he works on, even in Xena.
Hmm.
They strip down the chassis and then like put like the wood around it to make it look like an old school like Corsa carriage. But the Delta is in every single film, so it's always really cool to try to spot
Hmm.
it. And, like, what could that be?
Yeah, even The Gift. That was a movie I saw when I was like a teenager, and I had no idea that was Raimi. That just felt like a very cool kind of small town drama with an incredible, I think Kate Blanchett, right? It's like that's an
Kate
early Kate
Blanchett,
Blanchett. Yeah,
yeah. Was it
yeah.
Kate?
Keanu Reeves playing a villain.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you got Miss Katie Holmes, bearing it all. And then you got Giovanni Ribisi. I fucking love Giovanni
Mhm.
Ribisi. So anything he's in, I'm pretty much gonna watch. But Charlotte, I think you would like The Gift. If
Okay.
my memory serves, I remember really enjoying that film when I saw it, and I've seen it a few times since, but it's been a minute. Um, it came out 24 years ago, so but I remember enjoying it. I do want to revisit that myself. I think you would really enjoy, I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah, that one and Dark Man are definitely gonna be on my list now.
Hell yeah.
It's funny you bring up Giovanni Ribisi because I just saw a trailer for a new horror movie coming out. Do you know what I'm talking about? And that he's like the cinematographer on this really good looking horror movie that's I think it's playing at it might be at Cannes or one of these festivals. It's not Cannes. It might be Sundance actually. But I'm like, he's like the cinematographer, and I saw the trailer. I'm like, this looks really fucking cool. And I was like,
What the
good for
fuck?
him, man. Just branching out. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
random, but I think it was a storm sent us that, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy.
I'm
Well,
gonna have to look into that.
yeah, watch the trailer. It's like I can't believe he shot this.
Yeah, dude, I'm all for Giovanni Ribisi. I absolutely my favorite character of him is Daniel from The Other Sister. I love The Other Sister so much. I don't give a shit. I can quote that entire film.
I don't even know what that is, but
Oh, dude, it's
no.
Giovanni Ribisi and Juliette Lewis. They are both mentally challenged people that meet and they fall in love, and it's just watching them like navigate through what it is to be like grown up and like getting into a relationship and dealing with all that and kind of living in a world where everybody wants to just make shit easier for you because you're handicapped, and
Okay.
they don't want that. They want to kind of do things on their own. And then not to mention Juliette Lewis's dad is Tom Skerritt, so I mean you got
Oh,
Alien there.
nice.
Mm.
I met Tom Skerritt and I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! Like I loved you and the other sister," and he just looked at me like I just shit in a cereal. So I don't know, but
Because most people are like, oh, you're an alien. I bet.
yeah,
And yeah.
I got something from Alien signed by him, but I also had to mention that. And I don't know, I absolutely adore the other sister. I've seen that movie fuck well over probably 60 times in my lifetime. Like I just adore it.
Wow. Okay.
It's probably not a good movie, but I really enjoy it. Just the performances are really fun.
I love Juliette Lewis a lot, so that's yeah, that's an
Highly
endorsement
recommend
for
watching
sure.
that. Check that out. It's fun. It's a very
For
wholesome
sure.
movie.
I'm a softie, so I'm into that, man. I'm definitely I'll put my watch list. All right, that's the list, guys. A lot of good stuff, a lot of good recommendations to watch now. Um, any final things you guys want to talk about or to wrap this up? And I think we covered a lot of shit today, which I love.
Yeah.
Just thank you so much for having us, Jake. It was a pleasure as always.
Yeah, super fun, dude. I always like talking cinema.
Yeah, it was a blast. Thank you guys for coming on. And man, I mean, we can cut this out if you want, but do you want to plug your band again and your music?
Yeah. My band God Butcher is actually coming out with a new music video for one of our songs, Cyanide Hangover, which is about it's kind of a blend of a father and a son um, in Jonestown and kind of experiencing that and the regret that follows after that. Absolutely adore cult stuff, and Jonestown is definitely one of those things where I could go on for days and days. Um, but yeah, we're a local band here in San Antonio, Texas. Check us out. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, everywhere. We got a music video out for Most Tired Man, which was a very fun experience shooting that in the middle of Texas summer heat outside. Sucked. But yeah, I appreciate the allowing me to plug that. If you're a fan of metal music, check it out.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to get the merch whenever you get it back. I want that
Well,
t-shirt, man.
speaking
Ooh.
of that, we actually just got some in.
Oh, nice.
So
Cool.
yeah, we literally just got like yet last night we got a box of new shirts coming in. We have those ones and it's the Jonestown ones. We have those and then I made a design that is based off kind of like Junji Ito meets the Twilight Zone. And I don't want to say
Mhm.
like Junji Ito too much, but like when you see the image, you could definitely tell like, oh shit, okay, I can see where you're coming from. But that's something that we're going to be releasing soon on a shirt, and we're also going to be putting our EP out on cassettes.
Hell yeah.
Ooh. Keep physical media alive indeed.
Yes, sir.
Um, Let me know off mic how I can get that shirt. I would love to rep the group and everything. So,
Hell
all
yeah,
right.
dude.
Yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you guys are all having a good new year so far, enjoying some kino, relaxing, trying to get through the year as much as possible already. Um, and thank you guys for listening. I will do more episodes soon. Obviously, want to have Charlotte and Antman back on as much as possible. So, yeah, thank you guys so much and have a great one.